Great. Welcome, everyone. I'm really, really honored to be here. I want to thank Rowan for having me. I'm kind of not sure why I'm here. I'll tell you the story, actually, how it all happened. I had invited Rowan to our team's my team Zoom, and I know she's extremely busy, but she said, you know what, I can do. What I can do is have you come into our top leaders and present, and so that your team can, um, be a part of the Zoom. So I was really put back, and I was very, very honored and very thankful. So, Rowan, if you're watching this later, I want to say thank you for that. And something about Rowan, actually, when I started the business, my name is Jill Ray. I live in Ontario, for those of you that don't know me. And I remember going to the dream team because I was looking for heavy hitters who was who was succeeding, right? And I really stepped up and I looked at what they did, and one always stood out to me for the reason of just her perseverance, her good attitude, and she was a strong leader. And I remember when I started, I was so pumped. I got my business up and running, and about 3 months later, I was ready to advertise. And I remember putting my first ad out, and I got two buyers, and I was both refunded. And then I literally got shut down. And I already had 600 followers at the time, and my whole, you feel like everything's stopping, but it's not. And I remember turning on, there was some go live, and it was Rowan, and she had mentioned that she had been shut down like 30 times. I think she's been shut down a lot more than that. But I thought, you know what? This is nothing. This is just a bump in the road, and keep learning and keep growing. And that's what I did. And I just kind of kept learning in the training until we got YouTube. Of course, YouTube didn't come till a lot later. And but I just kind of I had no choice. I believed in the system, and just moved on. So she was really a great inspiration for me. And I just want to say, one thing I have learned is that you need to go through those challenges. To me, you're not really running your business if you're not having those ups and downs. And mindset is very, very important. And I've said it since the beginning, this business is 80% mindset and 20% system. We have everything basically on a silver platter. We have amazing $1 million masterminds and core fundamentals and our training. Some of you that don't have it yet, wait till you see it. Our back system, our email automation, all that is working for us. Sometimes we have the best coaches and the best, mentors, but we are the drivers of our business ultimately. And it's in those quiet moments, when you're going to a mastermind and no one knows that you're doing that, right? Or going, showing up for your business every day. And it has to do with our mindset. So I want you guys to grab a pen and paper. And this is something that I'm going to have some things for you to write down to do later in your mindful time, because I really want you to concentrate on that. And I really think it's important that we start with ourselves. You know, because this business plays with our head. There's times when we say, I don't know if I can do it, right? Or you get doubtful. And remember, the brain always goes to the negative, and we have to train it. And you can train it, by the way, to think differently. And I want you to think differently. And I want to, and then I'm going to end with a little bit of the reason why we kind of have to have that business mindset, because it's a little bit different. Okay. Um, I've studied mindfulness for a very long time. So mindfulness is really being in the present moment, and it's when things come at you and when things happen in your life, we're not putting it under the carpet. We're dealing with it. We're looking at our body sensations. We're learning how to breathe, and dealing with it head on, and waking up with that grateful heart, and knowing, training your brain to think in a positive way, because we have to live with ourselves, right? And we are all business owners now, so it kind of puts us in a different role too. But having that foundation is key. It really is. It's going to separate you from the ones that, you know, make excuses and self-doubt and, you know, whatever else they do or whatever else they tell themselves and quit. Right. So, the first thing that I want you to do is, actually, I want you to close your eyes for a sec. And I know we talk about vision boards. I'm not a big vision board person. I definitely have visions and what I want and goals for sure. And we're going to get into that. But I want you to think about, whether you're 2A, 3A, 6 dash, whatever rank you are. I want you to envision what, when you came into this business and now that you've, you know, grown in the business, what a dream, maybe a dream life would be for you. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to be really specific what that dream business or life scenario would look like. So I'll help you out. When you wake up in the morning, where are you waking up? Is it in the same house you have now? Perhaps in another country? What's the first thing that you're going to see when you wake up in the morning? I'm just going to shut my door. One second. What's the first thing that you're going to see? What are the emotions that you're feeling? Are you happy? Hopefully you're happy in your dream scenario. What are you feeling about life? Do you have anxiety? Is that gone now? Is there stress gone? You know, so I want you to really envision how your life could be when you get it to where you would like it to go. I want you to taste it and feel it. You know, it's really important that we vision, like look ahead and claim it, really. So you can open your eyes. So every time that whether you're starting out at 1A, 2A, whatever rank you're at, um, I want you to think of the next rank and claim it, right? I'm you're 2A, I'm 3A, I'm claiming that. Okay. The power of our mind is something that I really want you to tap into because it's changed my life and thousands of others. And if you look at some of the top leaders, I will tell you their mindset is key, right? And that's driven them forward. So these are the first the first thing I want you to write down and do this later when you have a real mindful time. Okay. Two goals that you want to achieve in the next 6 months for yourself, but give two reasons why. And number two, what has kept you from changing, um, things in the past? I want you to think back. So, like, what holds you back? Is it self-esteem? Was it, you know, lack of self-worth? Was it, perhaps worrying about what other people say? Another question, what do you need to change in order to achieve that change? So if you're sitting there today and you're stuck and you are doubting yourself, what are the things that are holding you back? But what needs to change, in order to achieve that goal? But I want you to write down two action steps in order for that to happen. And I say action steps because, you know, you have to take action. Mindset is um is only good when you use it and when you're applying it, right? I'm just going to let these people in. Sorry. There we go. So every minute of your life, by the way, is a decision. Okay. What you say to yourself, what you say to others, what you're working on, what you eat every day, what you wear, what you love, what you don't love, what you like doing, what you dislike doing. It's all a decision in that moment. So you decide where you are in your life right now. No one else does. So where you are right now in your business is a result of those decisions. It's powerful. So do you realize the power that you have in your mindset, how you can change and shift the way your business runs? I know my first year, I'll be honest, I probably wasted most of it. My mindset wasn't there. It was a plan B. I was still teaching at the time until that day that I was in the staff room and the teachers, I could hear them, I've got 8 years left. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And they're talking about retiring. And I've got 10 and I've got 5. And I'm like, and I looked down, geez, I got 14. I'm like, no, Jay, you have this business. You have to change the way you think about it. So I had to really research what a business mindset was and change because I was still as an employee mindset. And I'm the CEO of my business. You're the CEO of your business. So I really had to change that. Where your focus goes, energy always flows. So if your focus is always on something negative or doubtful or worrying about what other people say, that's the energy that's going to come back to you. And focus equals feeling. So control your feelings, your emotions, and what you focus on. It's huge. It's a life changer. So don't be swayed on other people's moods because we tend to listen to that. So once you're clear on where you want to be, and that's why I want you to do those questions and really dig deep why you want this business. That's what's going to drive you. It's your why. Like I had it stuck right on my computer the days that I was on my knees crying because I was shut down and I'm like, Jay, pull it together. You know, life goes on and it's not the end of the world and you got to focus, right? There's other things that you can be doing. And obviously I had to go through that, right? So, you'll learn that through your business that things don't happen when you want. And, but if your mindset is clear and strong and positive, it doesn't happen overnight. I practice mindfulness every single day. I even have it on my chalkboard, you know, wake up with a grateful heart. There's always something to be grateful for. Um, so once you're clear on where you want to be, then you can control each and every step and every decision that you make. And once you have control, it's going to bring you closer to your end goal and your why. I'm just going to let someone else in here. There we go. So decide what you want, but you have to be clear on what you want, right? I hear some people, when they start, well, I would really like to get to the next, no, to the next rank. No, claim it. You're already there. You have to envision that, right? And the rank is done. So claim it. I remember when I would do things like get ready, the prep work, right? Getting ready for my buyers. And I remember making 3 up and it's like boom, 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 I got 3 buyers. Like when your energy is focused on that and you don't have room for negativeness, right? The negative is going to come. Trust me, it always does, whether it's in another person, whether it's something that you hear or happens to you, um, I had my mentors leave. They quit, and it got me to really use my mindset. I'll tell you that because ultimately I'm responsible for my business and, no one pays your bills and no one runs your business but you. So that'll put you one step closer to your goals. So decide what you want, be clear, take advantage of it. The mindset is a must. If you talk to anybody, Rico and Nada and all them, they will tell you it's the mindset. Look at Rowan. I remember that first 2 buyers that I had refunded. I remember her saying, "Yeah, my first 27 buyers, they refunded." I'm like, "Oh my!" A lot of people would have quit, right? There's the difference of that focus and of what really matters. She had a strong why. Her children, right? What's your why? And actually, if you really dig deep into your why, at first it might be, yeah, I want to make a couple thousand more a month and I'd like to do this, but why? Well, I'd like to travel. Yeah, but why? Well, I would go down 50 times and really, really create that foundation of what your business is grounded on. Because if you don't have that and you don't have a strong mindset, mind you, it's going to be something that you're going to learn and build as you go, you'll waver. But in those times that those challenges come, that's when the mindset kicks in, right? And it leads you into the right way. So, like I said, keep it in your phone, write it down, put it on your screen, whatever you need to do. Um, keep it in the forefront. Know that every action that you do for your business is bringing you one step closer to the next thing. It's not a get rich quick, right? So, you have to have a realistic, you know, goals that you're going for. I always tell my downline to, have those little steps because you need to climb the ladder. You can't just hop to the top. You have to go through those things, you have to go down the valley sometimes, you have to come back up. You got to experience, you know, those things. I remember I was watching Nada's Zoom there, and one day you're up here, you're getting distributors, and it's a great day, and then the next day maybe someone's calling you a scam or something like that. But when your mindset is strong, that stuff just it doesn't matter. You're staying focused, right? Um, so you get to visualize and choose what it looks like. So it's always an action. Okay. So what you believe is reality. So a belief is really a thinking pattern that you've developed over years, by the way. Okay. And it has formed in your image what you perceive to be truth because everybody has different perceptions. You could go to the same thing and five people watch that and have totally different perceptions of what they believe to be true. Okay. So as far as your mind is concerned, your beliefs are your truth. So things like even like in different cultures in our business, right? So maybe someone from Canada or the US, we have TANs. Well, you travel, you're well educated, you travel the world, right? Sometimes people think that. Where in Japan, the lighter skin, that's the same perception that, oh, they're wealthy, that type of thing. It's sometimes it's cultural, sometimes it's things that we've been taught. Um, so your beliefs define you. So what are your beliefs, right? Especially about yourself. And if my team knows me, they know me well that, every Monday morning I'm doing my Mindful Monday on my page. And it's it has to start with yourself. It has to. You have to see your self-worth. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to feel worthy to be 3A, 6A, dash 2, dash 3. You're going to be afraid of that success. And what you think you are, who you think you are and what you think you do. So if you think you're not going to succeed as a mentor, maybe as a coach, you're not going to. So don't be, um, those doubts will come in, but that's when you learn and that's when you grow. So I want you to also write down 5 things that you believe you're good at that you can bring to your business. I know a lot of people get stumped, and I'm not going into branding or anything, but I think it's really important because you need to start with what you're good at. If you're good at speaking, like I am a shy person, but I think teaching over the years has gotten me out of my shell, and definitely going live. I didn't even know what a go live was, or a Zoom, or anything when I started 4 years ago. But um, I knew I was a people person, right? I knew I was creative, so I started there. I knew I studied mindset, so I did what I knew. So always start with what you know. You can't be good at everything, but if your passions are there, it's going to come easy. Like if I were to ask someone that's just starting out, can you tell me about the stacking procedure? It would be, it wouldn't even compute. But if I had said something like, oh, I hear you're a gardener, could you tell me about boom, 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 they would list it off in no time. So start with your passions, and it's going to make you stronger and confident on your page and in your ads. And it's going to build your mindset, right? That confident mindset, which we're going to go into some traits in a bit. So remember, your mindset is like a muscle. Okay. If you don't exercise it, don't expect it to stay in shape. So, that daily mindset routine, whether it's breathing, whether it's meditation, and it doesn't have to be a full-blown meditation. It could be just driving to work and breathing and listening to a podcast. It can be done in so many different ways. Like I said, we have that amazing training. We have everything at our fingertips, but you need to see the worth of it all and believe it, and you will succeed. Another question I want you to ask yourself, what do you want for yourself in this business? What is it? If you don't know, I would really think about that. Because in those times when someone's maybe saying something negative, or, your ad gets shut down or your page gets shut down, you're more apt to self-doubt, make excuses, and then off you go, right? So what is it that you want for your business? Start programming your thoughts. When I say programming, you can train your mind. So, the neurons, they used to think we all had fixed mindsets back then, years ago. That's the way I am. That's the way I was raised. That's the way I'm doing. I can't get out of my comfort zone. Nope, nope. This is the way I'm doing it, and that's it. That's a fixed mindset. Never wanting to try something new. A growth mindset is, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to succeed. If I fail, oh well. Oh well. I'm going to learn from it. And to have that mindset and train that, the neurons are going to go from a trickle and they're going to be a stream, and it's going to be programmed in your mind. And those thoughts are going to be the ones that serve you. If you're putting thoughts negative in your mind, that is what's going to be served to you every single day. So once you start, you will settle on the most powerful daily practice of you. So if you want, negative, if you're allowing negative thoughts or negative people, I call negative people Slimers. We used to have this teacher, I'm telling you, she'd come in the staff room and everyone was like, oh, and it was always negative. She obviously got something from that, but one day everyone was leaving. I probably said to her, how's that working for you? When you're talking negative, say perhaps of a student or whatever. She goes, well, I said, has it changed? Well, no. And, so you sometimes you have to, how should I put it? Have those people not around you, right? You don't need that negative energy. And it can be family members, by the way. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean you're not going to be there for them, but to have that negative town amongst you all the time is not going to serve you well, right? So be grateful, be consistent in your business, be yourself. You can't be anybody but yourself, and be patient. And remember, like I said, this business is 80% mindset, 20% the system, and get rid of the negative Slimers around you. And we have to change our mindset to that business mindset. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. I wrote down a few things. There's so many, but these ones I thought were key. So just a little bit of a versus the employee mindset. So for innovation, creativity, because I find this business is really creative. So it's important that we look at train our minds to be business owners, or that entrepreneurial mindset. So those type of people, they're innovative, they're creative, they're always looking for ways to be better themselves, right? And to improve and to grow. Where an employee mindset, they may be innovative within maybe just their roles, right? So when you go into work, you know your roles, what you need to do, and you're kind of, yeah, you might take some training and you might improve yourself, but they often work within the frameworks of that company, right? where that business owner, it's innovative, right? It's thinking one step ahead. For the financial part of it, a business owner, you're involved with the financial aspects. I mean, you invested into this business. There are uh, financial things that you have to look after in your business. So, you're tracking your revenue, you're tracking, your profits, and you're focused on, the profits, and you're managing your money, right? Putting some away for taxes or whatever you're doing. For an employee, they generally more concerned about, okay, what's their salary? Okay, this is what I make an hour, and they might not be directly involved with that broader financial health of the company. But you need to be thinking that way. In the beginning, no, you're not. You're focusing on getting leads, right? Getting that mindset in check, and working from there. Another one for relationships, and because this business is a people business, and business owners, they actively network, right? So in the beginning, I was looking, like I said, those heavy hitters, who is being successful, what can I learn from them? Because when you're surrounded by those people, you're going to succeed a lot faster. So building those relationships, like the dream team is cool. I mean, look at how many people that you could, I mean, I remember in the beginning when people said, oh, I could literally travel across Canada and meet up with people. I'm like, really? Why would you want to do that? Like in the beginning, I didn't know. And then after, when you realize the community and the relationship building, it makes sense, right? So you're looking at, the importance of relationships and the business growth and the opportunities, where an employee, they're going to look more maybe in at their development, right? Of just their focus on what their job is. So there's quite the differences. Adaptability and flexibility. That business owner, it has to be, you have to be adaptable. And I'm going to go into some of the traits of a business mindset, but you have to be flexible. Look at social media, how it changes every single day. So you have to be in tune with that, and foresee those challenges, because they're going to come for sure. And you got to learn to pivot sometimes, or learn new strategies. If that's not working for you, learn something new. And the employee mindset is more on just adapting maybe to the new tools they have, or processes, maybe some roles in their job. But they typically rely on the company, right? Where the direction is going. But you have that power of where your business is going to go. That's where that driver comes in, right? And that's where the mindset is key. It's like the ultimate. Um, and that the last thing I put down was the long-term vision. So business owners focusing on building the legacy. You can pass it down to your children. That sustainable success over long term. This is a business where you're going to build. Yes, there's sacrifices in the beginning, for sure, but it's going to pay off. I remember another quick story about uh Rowan. Actually, it was funny, because I would be thinking about something and then she would pop up about when she started. She was, well, 2A, and she had saved to go to Lebanon to her family, and she knew what this business was going to do to her, and she believed in it. And that's part of the mindset right there. But she used that money for ads and whatever she had to do to build her business. Now she can go to Lebanon whenever she wants, or how many times a year. So sometimes there's that different mindset of that long-term vision as well. That's really important. That has the impact on your decisions, have that impact on your future. Okay. And then employee, they have short-term perspectives, right? They focus on their tasks, their projects, they go in, they go home. They don't worry about the overall you know, milestones, or what the company's gonna hit next, right? Where you're going to those different lanes and building your business. I'm just gonna share my screen and just go over a little bit of some traits of the importance of that business mindset. Can you see that okay? I just want to, someone put their thumb up. Mike, can you put your thumb up? I can only see you. Okay, thanks. Okay, so I don't know why it's not, this one's not, there we go. So the importance of the business mindset. So I put these quotes in here, and because I want to get you in the mindset. So the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I see, and that's Walt Disney. I love Walt Disney. There's so many people that come in this business for 2, 3, 4 years and have done nothing, and they expect to have it miraculously work for them. And so again, get quit talking and get going. The entrepreneur always searches for change. See the action, responds to it, doesn't just put it under the carpet and think, oh, someone else will do that, but responds to it, exploits it as an opportunity. That's Peter Drucker. And entrepreneurship is about living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can. So there's the little bit of sacrifice in the beginning, and to what you're going to have at the end. So some of the traits, and there's so many again, but I think these are really important that I have learned that really helps me in my business. Confidence is one of them. And people always say, "Oh, but Jay, you were a teacher and you're confident." No, I had to teach myself, in a sense, confidence, right? And that stems from the mindset. But I had to train my brain, right? So confidence comes from knowing yourself, and that's where, again, starting with yourself. What's your abilities? Where arrogance makes you blind to your weaknesses, confidence is going to help you accept and acknowledge those weaknesses. We're not good at everything, and that's okay. Um, you have confidence in yourself and your business, and your business goals will become much more attainable. You start to understand your best skills and the biggest areas of improvement. You can use this confidence to bravely take your business outside of your comfort zone. Because as we know, dreams go to die in the comfort zone. It's comfortable there. We already know what's going to happen, but you're not going to learn anything new. So having that confidence is going to take you out of that, and you'll become hopefully a respected leader, people that trust you, and your confidence is likely going to rub off on your downline. Okay. So another thing is persistency. Oh my goodness, forward through the barriers, because you're going to have barriers. This is what it's going to look like right here. And you're going to, until you get through, not if you get through, but until you get through. Running a business doesn't always go as planned. Oh my goodness, it never does. It means finding a completely new route for your goal. You got to have those goals. You got to build your mindset. So you got to start looking for a new route to get to that goal. Every time something goes wrong with the business, you as a persistent business owner, you're going to look for what? You're going to look for solutions. They called me JY. I had to ask, but at first I was very quiet. I was just observing a lot. But then I realized I'm not going to get things answered in my brain if I don't ask questions. So reach out to people, okay? If you're not sure. And I mean, look at this group here. That's amazing that we have this. So every time something goes wrong with the business, you as the persistent business owner, like I said, is going to look for the solutions, and it's going to help you get through those problems more determined than before. And just be sure that your persistent doesn't hold you back from enjoying a work-life balance. And I put that there because that is key. You have to have a balance in your life. Doesn't matter if you're doing this job, doesn't matter if you're living your life. You know, you have to balance it with things that you enjoy. This business should be fun, right? You should have a passion for it, because when you have a passion for it, it doesn't feel like work, right? So keep that in mind. Again, the goals, right? Be goal oriented. Directly is with that persistence, right? You have to keep heading towards something. If you get stuck, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. If you fall off of something, get back on, right? If someone refunds, oh well, the next one's coming. That's in time. That grows with your mindset. So even with your main goal in mind, it's important to focus on each step, right? So that the goal has those micro goals along the way. And by the way, when you achieve those little goals, what does it do? It makes you more confident, right? So that you can go on to the next thing. And because sometimes people only focus on the huge things, which is okay, but it takes longer. And that's when you find people fail and they regress and they start self-doubting and the negative comes in and then it's a whole down the hole. Okay. So goal setting is going to help your business feel more organized, unified, whether you have a team of 10, 5, 1,000, or it's just you. Okay. And with attainable goals in place, you know what your next steps is going to be. You have to be organized. You have to set out what you want to do each day, even when you're not sure, even when it's murky, especially if you're starting out or you're trying something new. It's going to be murky. It's something new that you have to learn. Look at when we started this business. I didn't know anything, right? Yeah, if you have that passion and you have that why, again, that we talked about, that mindset set on what you want, um, even if the future is murky a little bit, you're going to keep pushing forward. Another one, again, that passion. I didn't have the passion in the beginning until I shifted the way I thought. That's when things started to happen. And I would want to guess, I would guess 100% that if you asked all the top leaders, they would have a passion for this business. And mindset is really no surprise when you consider the time, the resources, the finances that most business owners put into their businesses. But your business partners, your followers are going to be able to see what the passion that you have for your business. You don't want to be coming on your page and go, "Hey, everybody, yeah. So tonight we have a webinar." No one's gonna like, really. If she doesn't like it, I'm not gonna like it, right? So just that passion to excite even your downline. That confidence. In your potential buyer that's come in. Okay. So some jobs can be done a long time with no real passion, but owning a business isn't one of them. You have to have passion and you need to have passion for what you do, and you'll eventually, or you will face burnout. Some people ask why, people are in the business 4 years, 5 years, and they get to a certain level and then they quit. Why is that? It's mindset, right? So have passion for your business and it will be fun and it will not feel like work. Like my passion is to travel, to be out on the lake. When I'm out there, if I'm traveling, I'm thinking about the next trip, right? It comes easy. I could tell you everything about it, right? It's just, it's like a joy. I don't know, when I'm in my garden, looking at all the flowers and smelling the garden, it's just a joy. It comes easy. So you want to have that for your business as well. Let's see here. So stamina. So all the characteristics, successful business owners, this is one the probably most needed. That road to entrepreneurship is going to be a bumpy ride, and flat tires are going to occur, and more often than you think. But having that stamina, not only to survive, but also to thrive in those difficult situations, it's imperative. I'm just going to let these guys in here. Here we go. So, and not only that is when you go through those bumpy times, or when life throws you a curve, or the business throws you a curve, and you're off over here, and you're thinking, okay, I got to figure out how to get back here. You're going to look back and go, oh my goodness, how much I've learned. And that's why I think when you hear a lot of people say it's not just about the financial gain, it's what you're learning about yourself and sharing with others and seeing them succeed. That's the neat part. Another trait of a real strong business mindset is the goal setting mindset. We talked about the goals. Without a goal to reach, you're just wandering. You're just wandering, like it's those people that stay in the business 3-4 years and aren't doing anything. They're not achieving anything of significance. Maybe they're just there for social. I'm not sure. And it can either be a short-term or long-term goal, but regardless of it, you have to have always a goal in mind. So those questions I asked in the beginning, what are your goals? Additionally, goals won't work out themselves without a plan. You got to have, what's your why? How are you going to achieve that? So besides the goals, you must also have a plan to achieve it. And whether it's, 2A to get my first lead, right? Or, my first buyer, my first distributor, 3A, 4A. What sort of work are you going to need to accomplish that? It's that reverse engineering. If you're at 2A and you got to get to 3A, well, you need, 10 points, three trifectas, So how are you going to do that? Well, in order to get a buyer, I got to start building my page. I got to, whether it's reels, stories, free advertising, you got to start bringing in the leads. Leads are going to go in my funnel. The funnel's going to get me buyers and then distributors. So you got to think of how you're going to get and accomplish that goal. The risk-taking mindset. I put this one in because nothing good, like I said, ever comes out of in your comfort zone. If you are making excuses, just don't. We all have time. I mean, I could spend 2 hours in the TikTok hole, right? I could spend watching a series on Netflix. We all have time. A lot of people say, well, I don't have money to run an ad. Yes, you do. Find it. I started cutting grass. I sold things. I mean, I remember the Abisos in the Calgary meetup, and they had, they had to sacrifice, and now they can do whatever they want, right? So risk brings profit. I remember a quick story when I was 18, and I'm from a family of 5 children. So my mom at an early age says, "Cook dinner." I'm like, all right. So I put something in the oven, and again, cooking did kind of come easy to me. I think because it wasn't a stressful thing in our home. It was, you were taught to do certain things, and you just cooked and you had to eat. But I remember this restaurant that was in between these resorts where I used to live, and it was closing down. And it's where all the staff went, and all the camps would come, and all the locals would come for the burgers and the fish and all that. And there was a boat dock there, and I thought, I want to run that. And people were like, "Jay, really? You don't? Come on." I'm like, "Well, I've worked in the kitchen. I cook at home." They're like, and they'd laugh, but you know what? I had the vision. I had my why. No, I can do this. And I went down and I asked the owner and I said, "Can I lease the building?" And he said, "Sure." And I went down to the chef and I asked to get hamburger, and the ice cream truck would stop. I would stop him and I'd have my own little bills, and I had people make me signs, and I went out to the villages and I put out flyers under new management, and I did it. It was risk. Was I scared? Yep. It was all the unknown. All I knew was that I could cook, and I hired 3 girls. One of them was my sister because she used to work there. And I learned as I went, right? I built that confidence as I went. Even when people are saying, really, like this is going to fail, they said they've never seen so many people there. So I always think back to that. If I had listened to everybody and never took that risk and tried something new, even with this business, I mean, working online for me, I was like, really? I don't even know what I'm doing. I thought, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Do I go online? Oh, there's training. Like I had no clue. So taking that risk, if you're not willing to risk in business, you're going to regress instead of progress. So there's always an opportunity knocking at your door. And sometimes you have to risk budget. You have to reevaluate. You have to calculate, if the win outweighs the loss, and have the courage to step um, out of your comfort zone again and think of how much you can afford in the beginning and how much you can accomplish with that. You can only do what you can do. And, like I said, I cut grass. I did things that I needed to do. I didn't go to Starbucks every day. That sacrifice is for the long-term goals. Don't be afraid to experience loss. It's really key for your mindset as well. You have to learn. If everything went perfectly fine, you would never learn and you would never grow. And I used to teach kindergarten. I used to tell my kinders that, if we don't know, we're going to find out. And it's okay if you didn't win the race, you know? And so I want you to start thinking that way. So losing and winning. In fact, sometimes in order to win, you have to lose. You have to go through those things. Rowan had to go through those 27 refunded buyers. I had to go through being shut down, and that had happened for a reason. So don't take it on as that you're a failure, because you're not. You're going through that for a reason, and you're just going to be stronger. But you have to have that growth and that business mindset that it's okay. It's just a flat tire, but you're going to fill it up and you're going to move on. And don't be afraid to experience loss. And the whole point of the business is losing and winning. And stepping over your fear is key. Remember, fear is just thoughts that you tell yourself, by the way. They're not real. And we tend to, once we start making excuses and being doubtful and going into our mindset like we're no good, and you know what, maybe I don't deserve success. And maybe, you know what, I'll look at them. They're doing that. I could never do that. Yes, you can. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's where it starts, where you have to love yourself first. So amazing. Think about the things that you're going to learn about yourself and in your business. And that's when adaptability comes in. Don't ever fool yourself that you're in control of everything. I learned that really quickly. I'm a Virgo, like things in order, but everything happens for a reason, and it's unpredicted, and things are going to show up out of nowhere. And you need to adapt, and you got to be flexible. And if you're rigid, you're not going to enjoy yourself, right? And it can't be your way and no way, and then you're going to be doomed. So innovation, that adaptability, fuels that innovation in your business. Successful entrepreneurs are adaptable. They're adaptable thinkers who can start to identify those opportunities, right? If someone asks you, I remember when I was asked my very first, Zoom to talk, I'm like, sure. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, what did I just sign up for? So I always train my brain to say yes and then worry about it later. But I will tell you, it's made me a stronger presenter. I was asked to host the core fundamentals and things like that. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then after I'm thinking, oh my God, but you know what? We're human. If we make mistakes, oh well, there's no, I always say when you go live and if you screw up, there's no go live police out there. You're going to learn and you're going to have fun and you're just going to, hopefully inspire someone else. So have that adaptability, and quickly adapt to, I know there's lots of moving parts and there's lots of things I still don't understand, but think of the process, involving the customer. And when I say that, buyers that were coming in and all the market and everything that changes all the time, but embrace the change. A lot of people are scared of change. I was talking to a fellow business owner. I was meeting him and his wife, and we were talking about that. And he said, I love change. And I said, that's the key. You have to embrace change as a constant for your whole business landscape. Can you imagine if everything was the same? That would be kind of boring, actually. You need to be open to new ideas, technologies. I'm not a tech savvy person. I mean, I've learned a lot for the business, but I see people do things. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, But you gotta be open to that and learn new ways of doing things and be willing. So it's always an action, right? It goes back to the mindset. If you have that business mindset that you're going to try new things and you're going to be relevant in what you're doing. And lastly, get the resources you need. Running a successful business starts with you. But it's important to recognize that you're good and your maybe not so good qualities for your business. And then work on it, right? You're not going to be good at everything. You're not going to know everything. Just like people saying, oh, say they're 2A and they're trying to comprehend the stacking process, or they're trying to comprehend 6A2 dash, like they're trying to comprehend. I always say, don't. It's there. Concentrate on what you can learn to get up those little steps, right? To get to the next thing. And it's going to build your mindset. You're just going to become a stronger business owner. So successful business owners make genuine connections. They prioritize quality over quantity, and they keep up with the technology to improve their business. If you're not learning something every day, I think you're stuck. You should be learning something new every day and having that insight for something. And if you don't know, ask. I mean, there's so many people that are there to help you. And know your strengths, though. Start with them and seek others out, those others that have gone before. And like I said, it's helped me. I still get my little nuggets from all the heavy hitters, I call them. And you can only do what you can do, but just keep that business mindset and know that you're worthy. Know that you're worthy of that success. Because a lot of people, they don't think they can handle the success too. That's a whole nother zoo. But know that you're worthy of that. This life is not a dress rehearsal, right? It's this life can change in an instant. I mean, um my husband's brother just had a massive heart attack. He's okay. He was 100% blocked, but things can happen in instances. And are you living the life that you want? And that was my big thing coming into this business, that I wasn't. And so now that you have this business, and it's the number one selling system in the world, and we have all this amazing platform, go after it, right? But you have to nourish the brain. You have to train it, and have fun with it, right? So that's all I have. I don't know if there's any questions about anything. Oh, actually, I want to end with this. So some of you probably know Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, and they've always been an inspiration too. So they always have little workshop and stuff. It's to sign into their other thing, but I always go because I always get some really good marketing ideas or hooks. And he said something at the end, and he said, Dean said this: when you find the change, um, to be a part of a business model that has proven practices, um, and that is in an industry that is life changing. I'm thinking, we have that. He said the only thing left is passion and your hunger for it. And I thought that's exactly right. You know, he said persist until you succeed. Not if you no, until you succeed. You don't quit. He said, don't waste your time. The next 5 years are going to go by so fast. And where are you going to be? Right? Are you still going to be in your comfort zone? Are you still going to be doubting? Are you still going to be listening to what other people are saying? And then I put create your best life. No one's going to do it for you. And it's funny, I was thinking that in my head, and Mel Robbins pops up in my phone. And and this is so weird. So I wrote it down. I said, oh my goodness. And she said, stop looking on the outside of yourself. You have the power to create, heal, and change everything within yourself. And that's your mindset. So I was really inspired by that. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions about anything, or they're struggling with anything. Put your hand up, or just speak out if you have a question. Let me see if I can see anybody. Anybody? No. There's got to be something somebody's struggling. Mindset is, it's a big one, and it's worth doing every day, right? It's worth training your brain. Even if it's something as simple as before you even get out of bed and waking up with a grateful heart, even if you know what day's ahead, because I will tell you that will change your whole day. When I wake up and I'm negative, or I'm thinking something negative, or something I gotta do, and I go down that hole, then I said, Jay, shift. And then I shift, and then also, you get a buyer, or something happens like that. So it's proven in my life many, many, many times. That's why I think I am passionate about it, because it can be for anybody. You just gotta see your worth. So does anybody see a hand up? I don't know if I'm missing anybody. No one? No one has a question? uh, it's hard, like it's hard because if your mindset isn't geared to um, that way of thinking, the negative will come in. Your brain is designed to think what? To think negative. You have to train it and shift it and think to the positive, right? Sometimes, when you're in a when you see a child and they go hysterical, or they think, or you even hear adults, they go right to the negative. I'm like, wait a second, that's not going to happen. But our minds go there. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's something that we're conditioned to think, right? that we've been taught. And so the mind is very powerful. If anything you take away from tonight is your mind is a powerful uh, tool that you can use every single day, especially in this business. I caught the last after you talk about changing your point of view about money shifting. Oh, just one sec here. About money shifting towards abundance, like tips to do so. I, to be honest, I don't really think about money in the business. I did in the beginning though. Oh, if I could just make my first 1,500, right? Oh, I could pay off, you know. And then I realized, no, this is the people business. And then I shifted. Well, even Mike says it all the time. You look at the mission, and then the commission will come, right? Your I think if your focus is on that, the money will come. Yeah. But I don't make that as my number one thing to think about. I know it's easy to, but it can be a trap too, right? Because you know what's happening. Because where does your mindset go? Like money, 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 and then it doesn't have room to um, think in a business mindset way. You're only thinking money, and it's not a very pleasant thing to sometimes think about. That's a good question, though. Anybody else?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah. Hi, Sandra.
Sorry. Hi. So I'm new. I'm just about a year into it.
Nice.
Um, and for the last, I don't know, 5 months, I guess, I've lost touch with my mentor and my coach.
Mm.
Asking questions and not getting nothing.
Yep.
So I've been in a depressed state, but I'm going back and starting over and keep trying to do things. And then I have my husband who's part of this, who
Yep.
is so skeptical and doubtful so I
Yep.
have to
You're not
leave.
alone, Sandra. You're not alone. But I'll have to say though, you did have a little bit of a mind shift there to go back to the training, because ultimately, and I said this in the beginning, you are the CEO of your business. So whether you have a
Yeah,
mentor or coach or not, it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
I've had
Okay.
many people reach out to me that
Thank
don't
you.
have coaches. You will succeed. It's your mindset. Remember, you
Thank you,
can do
Jay.
anything,
Yep.
Sandra. You can do anything, right? You have the masterminds. You have, look at, I don't know if you're a part of
Yep.
Verwan's, like we have some
No.
really cool leaders, you know? So you're not alone, right? Reach out to people, seriously. If you're feeling that way,
So
it's a mind shift. It's that time when you're by yourself.
thank
And you're
you. Yep.
probably saying, I'm
I will.
doubting, whatever. Yeah, it's just the shift. It's just the shift.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. I mean, I had my mentors for 4 years and then they quit. So, but I knew early on that I was not going to rely on them. I had to build my self-confidence and I had to build my mindset for myself because I knew I'd be left behind in a sense, right? So I learned think of all the people in the dream team, the little nuggets you can take, all the masterminds, right? Like I get so many different little things. Take what means something to you and build from there. That's what a strong business mindset person is, right? Like a business
Okay.
owner, there's no giving up. You gotta find another way. If you have a skeptical husband, or if you're not sure on something, find out, right? Especially in this
Okay.
business, you're definitely not alone. Yeah. Yeah, someone said Ethel, connect with other business owners. Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty lucky to have that, really. Um, yeah. And it's funny because there's a few people that I remember now, and they came to me and they were pretty down and they felt lost, and we had a good Zoom, and now I see them and it's just like they're inspiring me, you know. They found it in themselves. They would say to me, Jay, I found my worth. Can do this. Yes, you can. And now they're inspiring others. So it's like a ripple effect. I know, Mike, they talk about that a lot. And you can be too. You're going to look back, Sandra, another year and you're going to go, wow, how far you're going to come. And that's the neat part of this business. It's not just about the money. It's about, you know, how you are with other people. Because like my dad used to always say, like, life's not about, I mean, when someone passes, they don't remember what car you drove, or what house you lived on, or, they remember you and your character and how you were to people. And this business allows us to be kind of like that. It's a people business. So if you focus on that, the commission will come. Anybody else struggling? Remember, you're going to help somebody else, because I know a lot of people, trust me, I struggle with mindset, but I have trained my brain to think, Jay, snap out of it. Let's go. That's just what you're telling yourself isn't true, right? Because a lot of things we do tell ourselves are not true, but you got to be able to decipher. And being in that mindful state helps you to see that, right? That you're not putting things under the carpet, you're dealing with it head on. So that when those challenges do come, you're ready for it, right? It's okay. It's okay. They refund it, on to the next one. That's when the mindset is key, right? Or those quiet times when you're doubting. That's when it's going to pay off, and you're just going to grow. I hope that makes sense. Does anybody have a thing they want to share of how that you help nourish your mindset at all? Anybody have anything that they do they want to share? I always say look for podcasts, look for positive things, right? Um, don't fill your day with negative, fill your day with something else, right? And there's that balance too. Go after, do things that you enjoy too. No one has something that they do. No. uh, but passion is the key. Have a passion for this business, and it'll change things. It won't seem like work, right? There's days I'm like, oh man, I've been doing this business for 8 hours, but it didn't. I was out at the pool, or I was out. Like it's not. It doesn't feel like work. And if you do that, when those challenges come, you're going to have a different perspective on how your business runs. If you're just thinking, oh my God, I got to get to this, and I got to how am I going to do that? And if you're always in that state of mind and that mindset, it's not going to serve you well. I think I said that, whatever you want to do things that serve you well and exercise the brain. And it's something you do every day. It doesn't happen overnight. So don't think you have to go and have a perfect mindset and everything's going to be great, because it doesn't happen that way. No other questions? Well,
Not a
no.
question, but you sure helped
Yeah.
me a lot.
Oh, good,
Thank
good.
you.
I said to myself when I came in here, if I help one person, that's why I do things. Because trust me, I've been inspired by other people and they've helped me, and it's a nice thing to give back. So that's good. Thank you for that. No one else? No. How do you deal with focus? Can you explain a little bit more, Ethel, what you mean by that? How do I focus, you mean? Yes, how do I focus? Again, it's training the brain, right? So it's those little steps, um, positive, being around positive people. I don't like the Slimers. I don't like the negative Nellies. Because life's too short for that, right? So, I focus well, I always have quiet time, whether you call it meditation or not. Um, and I really stay organized. Organization's a big one, for this business. I do a lot on my phone. I spend probably every day 10-20 minutes just organizing my day to make sure that I'm doing my things that I need to do. And don't get caught up with that. Like when you're starting out, you're like, well, what do I do? Right? You don't know what you're doing. But as you grow and in your training and you're learning, oh, I need to do this now. Oh, I need to prep for this. Oh, but if you're not learning, how are you going to learn to focus and learn something new? So yeah, just being in the now. Mindfulness helps me a great deal. If I am scattered, I used to make stress bottles with the Kinders, and we used to fill them with sparkles and a whole bunch of things. and it would represent their mind. So when they're feeling anxiety, or when they were getting mad because maybe someone took their ball, or someone said a mean word to them, and their brains all shooken up. So they would shake their bottles, and then I would teach them how to be mindful. And as it was, trickling down, they would practice breathing. We did mindful every day. And I will tell you, it changed their behavior. It changed the way they thought. They could think clearly. So for me to focus is sometimes it's just going for a walk or just getting outside into nature. That's been my savior in a sense. That's probably why I love the water so much. It's a calming thing. So I would always say, find something that you really enjoy doing it, and do more of it. And if that makes you focus there, and just keep nourishing the brain, right? Nourish it, and do the things that are going to make it grow and not stunt it or stay in the rut or be negative. Yeah, so those things have helped me a lot. And anything, I think there's lots of studies on that. When you go outside, it changes the whole um, brain anyways, right? There's a lot to the brain, right? The prefrontal cortex, the amygdala. There's lots to it. If you ever got a chance to really study the brain and how things work, right? That fight or flight, those modes, and how you deal with things. So, stresses are going to come up, but you want to be in that right mindset to be able to handle it. Okay. Anything else? Can't even see the chat button. Go. Good questions though. I can see people thinking, but but most of all, just have fun with the business. I think sometimes you get so caught up. Yes, it's a business, but you got to have fun with it. Meet up with people. When you go to a meetup, if you can do that, do that. It really inspires you. We need that human connection. I don't know about you, but COVID just about killed me. I do like my quiet time. That's another thing too, Ethel. Finding the quiet time for yourself to refocus. I love people, and I love to help, and there's a teacher in me. But if I don't have my quiet time and to refuel, then I'm no good to anybody. And that goes with it. That should be with anybody. Find your solace and find your thing where you can regroup. And then it's just like, a mother, if she's their children are there and she's not looking after herself, which I used to see all the time when my parents would come in with their children and they were exhausted and they're go, go, go. And I said, do you ever just have time for yourself? Oh, no, no, you need to. You have to teach your children to look after yourself. And sometimes I think we tend not to put ourselves first. It's not a selfish thing. It really isn't. It's just like going in a plane. What do they always say? Put the mask on yourself so you can help somebody else. You're not going to be good to anybody if you don't see your worth and you don't love yourself and build your mindset. Your business is going to suffer. Your social life's going to suffer. Your just your daily living is just not going to be on what it should be, how it's supposed to flow. So make sure you have that balance. That's good. Are we good? Yeah. So thanks so much for coming, everyone. It was an honor to be here. And yeah, I think that's about it. If no one has any more questions, we'll end it. Okay. Have a good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye now.
Take care. Take care.